Advertising, there used to be a time when we used to be almost obsessed with film stars, maybe TV stars as well. And we used to feel like कि अगर marketing कराना है या advertising कराना है, those are the people that we need to go to. But I think in the last few years, I mean, the scenario has completely changed. So let's meet some of the game changers today who have actually made it possible and has popularized this term called influencers in the best way possible. To begin the proceedings, may I please call upon stage Sudeep Lahiri, VP Content and Strategy, One Digital Entertainment, to moderate a session on the topic influencers and its impact on marketing. He'll be joined by Rajit Desai, Senior Vice President, Client Leadership, Mindshare India. Hello, sir. Welcome. Neil Salekar, content creator. May I please have him on stage? And also Anmol Sachar, content creator, a very dear friend of mine as well. Welcome, brother. Very happy to see you.
Hi, everyone. How was lunch? You guys look very energetic. Very surprising. Yes, I know. And the moment my name got announced and people saw me walking towards the stage, I think the front row just left. So I'm wondering what happened there. And the moment their names came up, some people from the back came in front, which is a good thing. Hi, everyone. How's it going? All good? I have the privilege today of talking to a bunch of really interesting people. If you've not got OD'd with marketing in the last panel, there is some more marketing happening here. But this is influencer marketing. It's fun. It's fun what we do as people who are involved in this business. It's great fun. We have an expert who gives us the business, and we have two people who make the money, and I'm the guy who facilitates that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about influencer marketing. Do you just want to introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
Sure. So my name is Rajit Desai. I work with Mindshare. I essentially look after the West office for Mindshare. Mindshare is the largest media planning and buying company in India and in Asia. So, and we essentially what we do is that we advise clients, which is brands, in terms of how is it that they should go about allocating their media budgets.
Can you increase his levels a little bit? Because I'm guessing people can't hear him. Bye.
Hi guys, my name is Neil, also known as Just Neil Things by my Instagram handle. I'm a full-time content creator and pursuing acting as well, and been creating content for like 5-6 years now. Yeah, that's all what I do. I come from a filmmaking background, and I have applied all my logic from filmmaking to content creation, and that is helping me a lot.
So, hi guys, I'm Anmol Sachar. As Neil said, full-time content creator. So whenever रिश्तेदारों के सामने you say full-time content creator, एक ही चीज़ मिलती है कि ये सब तो ठीक है, काम क्या करते हो? But thanks to all the lovely brands and the developing ecosystem, ये एक full-time career बन गया है, and we're able to sustain and not only sustain, do well with our lives in this field. So I'm creating content since the past 7 to 8 years, and I'm just living my dream one day at a time.
That's pretty awesome, right? Like at their age, I don't know what I was doing. I was not creating content. I would have probably been happier if I had started creating content then, but... so, you know, we've seen this industry grow from being absolutely nothing to where it is now. How has it changed over the years? Like from your perspective. Anmol, let me start with Anmol on this one. Primarily because even 7-8 years back when he was creating content, it was not just for himself. He was working with creators, he was working with a group of people, and obviously now he's completely by himself and he's doing great things. So how has that changed for you? I'm just talking about, not the business, I'm just talking about being a content creator.
So 7-8 years back, when I would tell someone I'm doing this full time, it was the best joke I could have cracked. Because I would get laughs, and those laughs were... you know, people would look down upon you, your own relatives, your own friends. They say, "Kyun apni life waste kar raha hai?" Because no one could have imagined what this industry would become, and the power that the future holds for content creators, influencers. And over the years, what I've seen is there's so much more acceptance. There is so much more realization of the fact of the impact that influencer marketing can bring. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's a long way to go. And we were discussing some mind-boggling numbers, I think, which Rajit sir will share with you all. This is definitely just the tip of the iceberg.
Neil, you've come at a very sweet time. You've seen people get successful. You've seen the going up, coming down. And you've entered the market at a very cool time where you know that the mess ups they've made, you're not going to do that. At the same time, you also are catering to a brand new audience that has just entered the ecosystem to consume content. So how does this, and your journey is what, 2 years now? 3 years? How, has there been a change in that as well?
So there is a change definitely. I entered like mostly Instagram. If we talk particularly about Instagram, I used to create content on other platforms as well. Before Instagram Reels came, like 3-4 years back, like 16, 17, I started kind of, but nothing was working as such for me because there were already people established on particular platforms. But when Reels came up, suddenly everything started taking off. And never thought of money. वो सोचा नहीं था कि इस पे पैसे भी कमाएंगे. We were in the hunger of creating content and reaching out to audience. And it came वो मौका आया Reels की वजह से. And साथ ही साथ this branding thing or advertising thing, this also entered at the same time on Reels. And the timing matched actually. The growth through content on Reels and other platforms. Because of Reels, I got noticed on other platforms as well. It helped me overall. And then it started growing. I started growing according to like however I was posting my content के जैसे चल रहा था. And brands and everything started getting aligned to it. And eventually I realized कि okay, this is a business and you have to, I am kind of a businessman now. I have to deal with everything. I can't just be like an artist and हाँ क्या है आ रहा है brand तो मैं कर रहा हूँ ऐसा नहीं. You have to intellectually उसमें थोड़ा दिमाग डालना पड़ेगा. You have to grow. You have to change your content. You have to be थोड़ा professional in terms of posting. What are you posting? So eventually it's started as a passion, but eventually it turned completely professional.
Awesome. But coming to you now, because you've seen this at a very nascent stage where you're saying that it's almost like betting, right? Like, should we spend money on this? Should we not? To where we are today. And in our room outside when we were discussing this, Chief had a lot of fantastic numbers to show how influencer marketing has changed over the years and where we stand right now in this country with regards to the same. Please shed some light on that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about a few numbers. In 2016, the entire influencer marketing ecosystem worldwide was about $1.7 billion. Take one guess about what is it that we are looking at in 2023. It's actually 21.21 billion. That is the total $1 billion.
$21 billion.
21 billion with a B, as the size of the thing. And just last year, it used to be about 16 billion. So that is the kind of growth. I mean, at a worldwide level, 25% growth, 27% growth is something which is unprecedented. So when you look at that context, even in India, and India is also growing substantially. Every year, last few years, we've at Group M, we've come out with this influencer marketing report in terms of the size which we're talking about from an India context. And we expect 2023 to be about 16,500 crore. That is the size of the influencer marketing ecosystem in India. 2024 will be about 2,100 crore or thereabouts. So these are pretty serious numbers which we are talking about. This is a lot of money which brands are putting in, and they're putting in because obviously they see value being derived out of that.
So would you say influencer marketing is now mainstream marketing? Is it a part of your mainstream media plan?
No, absolutely. See, the thing is that you cannot say with a one size fits all, But there are many brands and many categories for which it is completely indispensable. You may not necessarily need for something which is absolutely hygiene, but anything which has got any kind of lifestyle tilt, any kind of consumption, any kind of youth connect, then that is
Sure.
obviously something which is pretty much
Sure.
mainstream in that.
So for everyone who's looking at marketing your brand or marketing your platform, we have numbers to prove that influencer marketing is actually beneficial for different kinds of businesses if done right. And that is an interesting thing to note at this day and age, because a lot of times people are also saying that, is this just a bubble? Like, why are people doing this? Is it even necessary? Yes, it is. If a 2,000 crore market is saying that this is successful, then it is, right? Tell me something now, as a creator, you obviously have multiple brand inquiries that come to you, right? How do you decide कि इसको करना है, इसको नहीं करना है? How do you choose?
I look, first of all, I look at the risk. Risk of
The risk.
Risk of, according from my perspective, I'm talking. The risk of if I promote this brand, for example, there are very betting apps. I don't do betting apps.
You don't do betting apps.
Yeah, that's my choice because I don't want to anything around.
Sure.
Don't want to do anything around betting because I find a risk. Maybe there's जो भी brand है, whatever it is, but I find a risk, so I choose that way.
Sure.
There's no generally there's no ऐसे specific rules for me, but I choose कि अगर ये brand किया तो इससे कुछ, because after all I'm going to promote the brand or say there's a name aligned with my name will be associated with that brand, so I look after that कि अगर मैं ये कर रहा हूँ तो ये सही है. That's it.
Sure. What about you, Anmol?
So for me, it's something obviously very similar on the lines of what Neil just shared. There's one instance that came up, obviously without naming the brand. I had used a particular product from a brand and I was very excited about it. But the end experience for me as a user was awful. And ironically, down the line, a couple of years down the line, that same brand approached me for a promotion.
Did you get allergies?
Sorry?
Did you get allergies?
Not allergies, but so the consumer in me was very disappointed. And obviously when that campaign came towards my way, I couldn't promote it. So
Sure.
there are these instances as well, apart from the basic checks like Neil is mentioning, where you turn down a brand.
And Chief, how do you go about deciding कि चलो ये 10 creator हम काम करेंगे इनके साथ ये brand के लिए?
See, actually, it's over the last few years, as the ecosystem has evolved, the process for selection has also become a lot more scientific
Sure.
to the extent that it used to be. Now, at Group M, we have this platform called Inca. I'm sure everybody has got a similar such platform in whatever form. What we essentially do is that we have track record for about 100,000 plus influencers, large, small, medium, nano, macro, whatever that categories which really come in, and typically talk about what is the kind of engagement that each of their past performance has actually driven. Brands are always looking at ROI, and we are essentially custodians or trustees for brands, and we are not brand owners per se. So when we advise clients, we have to be very, very clear about when the client is walking into it, then what is it that he is buying into. For that, we look at the track record about where is it that the performance of that influencer is likely to be skewed towards in terms of what demographic, in terms of what geographies, in terms of what kind of content and what is the tonality which that particular content creator really puts out. And based on that, there is a sort of a rating or something which we arrive at about X amount of money should translate into Y level of reach, engagement, or whatever that is what we are likely to be able to expect. So that becomes the first principle about how is it that the plan gets built, and within that then there are some rules which you apply that okay, I need X level of macro, some mid-size, and some which will be nano, depending on the nature and the objective of what the brand is really, what the brand is really wanting to chase.
I'm going to ask you to pull that paper out from your pocket once again, because he's got another interesting number for us. Where can any of you guess how many influencers in India are about a 1 million or above a 1 million followers number? Any guesses? How many people in India have more than 1 million followers, say on Instagram? No? Nothing? Chief?
So about, as of August 22, so which is about a year back, and I'm sure there are more which have come.
Sure.
About 2,461 influencers on Instagram who are with more than 1 million followers.
We have more than 22,000 people in India who have more than 1 million followers on Instagram. What about more than 500,000?
I just cut that out. So 2,400 which are million plus, about 20,000 which is 10 times as many which are in the lakh to 1 million.
Wow.
And if you talk about 10,000 to 1 million, then 200,000, sorry, not even
Huh.
1 million. We are talking about 64,000.
64,000 people. So do you think, do you guys think this market is getting saturated?
I don't really think so. I think the pie is big enough for everyone.
Sure.
And while of course the number and the influx keeps on going up, the consumption is also increasing a lot.
Correct.
Today you see your dada dadi, nana nani also scrolling through reels. So that kind of audience has also come in with the influx of new content creators.
Got it.
So the pie keeps getting bigger in proportion.
But what is the success matrix then? Like for example, if we talk to you, and what is, quickly, we don't have much time. Let's say that this is a campaign I've done and this campaign is successful. How do you decide that this campaign was successful?
Multiple ways. One is in pure output levels. If we set out with a goal of saying that I need to get whatever 10 million views as a number, then have I got those organically or not? That is the first level. Now, if I have great, if I haven't not, then what? What geographies have I got those people from? And more important, but those are output metrics in terms of what we would really say. Real point is in terms of outcomes is what you are really wanting to do, which because if there is a brand goal or brand objective which you were to set out, then did that meet its objective or not? So maybe if I was to look at engagement as one metric, but engagement in itself is not enough. Like for example, if I'm a bank and wanting to do stuff with the thing, is the message of savings or whatever that have you, has that got registered with the consumer or not?
So that's your success matrix.
That is what you would
Fair
really
enough.
wanting to do.
So you're saying that changes over campaign and campaign. What about you guys? Apart from the final amount of money hitting your banks, what else is a success matrix? कि चलो ये video अच्छा हो गया.
I think I look at the engagement
Engagement? Okay.
of the, if I do a brand video, I look
Huh.
at the engagement. If there's a good engagement, I have really done well regarding.
And what is the formula to get good engagement on a branded video?
Try to make the brand video in the most organic way, and I guess the motive is clear. If the whatever the brief has brand given कि हमको ये चाहिए at the end of everything, we want to promote this, और वो भी हो रहा है, and video is seen organically also, is like it seems like an organic video also. I think it works win-win situation for both of us.
I get it. But Anmol, you know, this organic integration is a term that has been bastardized over and over and over again. Sometimes in the face advertising is said, ये कितना organic है.
Yeah.
How do you determine whether it's an actual organic integration or no?
It is difficult, but I think one thing that really matters here is, and it's evolving over time, the brand support, you know. Nowadays, brands have started giving that creative freedom, and they've understood that you're going to the audience of a particular person. That person has the best understanding of that audience. So the more liberty you get, of course, keeping in mind the brand's message, tonality, I think the campaign's chances of going successful are the maximum. And the one thing that I look for is that handful of comments saying कि branded video हो तो ऐसा हो, पता ही नहीं चला कि branded video. I think that comment जब आता है ना, you feel, of course, apart from the money hitting the bank, as you said, but when you read that comment, that makes you feel really nice that you didn't bore your audience, you entertained them, and the brand is happy and everyone's happy.
What's the worst brand experience that you guys have ever had? The worst.
आई थिंक टाइम कम पड़ जाएगा उसके लिए.
एक छोटा जल्दी से बता दो क्योंकि मैं फिर इनको पूछने वाला हूँ, what is the worst creator experience he's had?
आई गेस एक ब्रांड ने बहुत इतना सब बता दिया मुझे कि ऐसा करना है, हमें ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए, ये चाहिए. तो आफ्टर अ पॉइंट इट वाज देयर वीडियो, नॉट माय वीडियो. आई वाज जस्ट द मीडियम ऑफ लाइक आई वाज जस्ट द मीडियम कि मेरे प्रोफाइल पे वो वीडियो गया. एंड आई वाज सो डिसइंटरेस्टेड आफ्टर दैट कि यार एक बार कर लो, डाल दो, ये आपके हिसाब से मुझे क्यों ले रहे हो.
चुप हो जाओ उसके बाद.
Very true, because this happens not once, it's happened quite a few times, and you know you're like कि आप अपने स्क्रिप्ट राइटर्स हायर कर दो, लिख के हमको दे दो, फिर हम डाल देंगे. मतलब what more can you do, because you're telling them that trust me with my audience, I have built them with, there's a
Right.
reason why they follow us.
Right.
So sometimes that happens, but of course there are many brands who give you the creative freedom and you enjoy working with them over and over again.
Right. Chief, worst creator experience. These guys are kids. They don't know what the hell they are doing.
No, I think you cannot. I mean, see, these are all. We are still taking baby steps on some of
Sure.
them. Okay, so it would be really harsh for you to judge, and I am a firm believer that what you get is a function of how you brief.
Got
If you brief properly, then generally the chances of you getting something which is going to be completely way off is not going to happen.
Right.
Now, so long as you're detailing your briefing and your process about how is it that you're going with the thing, and what you're expecting is clear, then 19-20 का फर्क होगा. But I mean, it might not exactly turn out what you had expected it to be, because this is not an ad which you're making. You are making content which should hopefully travel, fly in whatever case. So, I mean, fortunately, I've been blessed. Not really,
Got it.
really bad instances, but I guess I'm sure people would have had
Sure.
experiences.
So I have 30 seconds left. Please don't play the music till I tell you. This is my last question. Working with creators, I've also noticed that what happens is at the start of your career, you're charging a certain price for a certain brand deal, right? And over time, you grow as a creator, but it gets extremely difficult to change that price point, that rate card, right? Because even you'll agree, because if you worked with a creator, you'll say, "अरे पिछले साल ही तो 50,000 दिया था, अभी 1 लाख क्यों मांग रहा है?" And that is what generally happens. So from a creator perspective, how does a rate card change? And from a brand perspective, how are you okay with that change?
So, okay, I'll go first on that. So, typically, I did mention about the platform and the knowledge which you are trying to build over a period and over a point in time. Now, those of you who are from the marketing or advertising background, and specifically from a media lens, you would have heard this term of CPV and CPRP and CPM and everything which is there on the various costs per whatever that you're getting. Now, typically the platform helps us assess that if a particular person was giving typically say 1 lakh engagements last year, and today it is giving me 1 million engagements, then obviously it is unfair of me to even ask that particular, have that kind of expectation which is going to be. So long as there is a principle and a process and about how is it that you are measuring, and that is getting communicated with the creator about how is it that you are going about it. Generally, we have had good relations and good equation with the brands, with the content creators overall. The only thing which actually makes brands a little wary about it is that today you are putting out, promoting brand X, and 10 days down you are promoting brand Y, which is a direct competitor. And those are some of the guardrails or things which you would probably want to guard against. Other than that, there are no real issues.
I think it's, as a creator, it's our responsibility also to keep up the engagement, keep growing the engagement. You should not just demand for money just because you have certain number of followers. I think rather than followers, engagement is the main thing. And if you are doing great content, even your organic content, then your engagement also stays up and people are there. Like the moment people feel like commenting is a big thing. otherwise it's just scrolling and watching content. So you make them comment on your video is a big thing, and you maintain that kind of audience and engagement on your profile while you're growing with the followers. Then I think you can also plus up your rate card, and that's fair for the brand as well, because you can obviously show them the stats. These are the stats. I have this kind of engagement, which will obviously help your brand.
And just to add to both the points that they said, you know, there are times when you hit a milestone, or maybe, you know, there's a content creator who's just done a web series or a movie and is in the buzz. Those are times when there are a lot of eyeballs on that person. So even if the follower number per se has not gone up, the moment at which you are executing a campaign could see that the influencer is demanding a different kind of rate. Because even if it's just been 6 months to the last time you worked with that person, maybe they've hit a lot of milestones. They have a lot of success stories in that 6-month phase. So that is another factor that comes in when, you know, the rate card is changing.
Thank you guys for coming here. I hope we've value added a little bit to you guys about influencer marketing and what happens in that universe. But thank you for being an awesome audience. Thank you. Thanks.